Welcome to the channel. Y'all already know that I'm not a fan of very long introductions or introductions at all, so I'm gonna go ahead and get into it. Ask the universe, entities, beings that want the best for mankind and the collective to give me a reading that will help the collective who are watching help move the society forward in a way that's going to help create better humans. Okay. So I'm getting the energy of someone out there trying to be balanced. They're trying to balance themselves in a way that's strategic. Usually this card for me is a very sneaky energy, but it also can be strategy. And the strategy that you're using is going to help you move forward when it comes to your emotional fulfillment and your stability. Someone out here is actually going to be going to have a lot of happiness, but there's going to have to be a transformation when it comes to emotionally giving and receiving. It seems like someone's not in the headspace to give to others. Even though someone's already emotionally, this might be the person this person is dealing with. Okay, yeah. So there's someone out there that this person is giving to that is emotionally immature, and there's a transformation that's going to happen. There's a transformation that needs to happen. There might honestly be a death as well. Somebody might be dealing with the death of someone from their childhood, someone who was not so great from their childhood, who was emotionally unstable. Although this is the King of Cups, it doesn't necessarily mean this is a man. This person may have just very authoritative energy, but emotional is very emotionally unstable type of person. It is sadness, but for some reason, somebody might be getting some money from this. You know, someone decided to walk. This is also sneaking away. So, ooh. Alright, there's another group of y'all who found balance in emotional stability and stability in general by sneaking away from someone. Sneaking away from someone who was emotionally unstable. There may be a death from this person. Someone is happier without this person. And someone actually might be getting some coin because of it. So this person who is emotionally unstable, someone who wasn't able to be present emotionally with you, although they may not be someone that you can spend, or may have not been someone you could have spent time with, like you're still going to receive some reward or benefit from the neglect. This person is apologetic. They seem like a very apologetic person, but it's a very small apology. If this person has passed, you know, they would apologize, but they never really changed. There's a lot of emotional stability that's being offered. I don't think it's from this person. I think the universe is offering it because this person wasn't able to give it to you, or you know, wouldn't, whatever the case is, this person wasn't able to give it. There's an energy of understanding, like someone, the collective is going to understand that this person, although they were emotionally unstable or emotionally vacant, they still cared. The apologies, even though it was small, it was real. But unfortunately, this person just wasn't able to give. Now, this doesn't excuse their behavior. You know, if someone is emotionally absent from your life, moving on is the best decision to make. And I'm getting that that was the right decision to make, even though it did cause a tower. It's almost like someone had to sneak away and transform themselves and stop begging for the love and affection for someone who just emotionally wasn't there and couldn't be there. And this is stemming from childhood too. This is a pretty not so great childhood. Someone had to transform themselves into a person that's okay with walking away from a situation. And this person does feel bad about it, but not enough for them to change. Or this person did feel bad about it, but not enough for them to change. So the universe is offering emotional stability and insight into the situation. Oh God, 4 cards connected. Ooh, so someone might have been dealing with a Gemini, a Leo, a Scorpio. But there are a lot of secrets. Someone didn't want to be left out in the cold, but I think this person who is emotionally vacant didn't want to be left out in the cold from this person, but this decision had to be made. Someone had to choose whether they wanted to go towards something that bared fruit for them and would actually be good for them, or something that was barren and just broken. And even the universe is saying where to go. And there's a lot of secrets, a lot of things that this person doesn't know about, the person that I'm reading for. This collective doesn't know about this person. There's a lot of things that this collective doesn't know about this person. A lot of secrets. This person doesn't feel as affected by leaving this person out in the cold. You know, when you leave someone out in the cold, you're also left out in the cold. I think a lot of times people misunderstand this idea of oh, you're cutting someone off, or oh, you're abandoning, and blah 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 blah. But remember, like, you're also left out in the cold, especially someone who actually had to make the decision. Some people don't want to cut people off, and they have to for their own sanity. We have the Everything is Fine card over the 7 of Swords. Like, someone had to genuinely cut someone off and, like, kind of pretend that everything was okay on the outside. Just they had to keep moving forward. And even though it hurt and it did feel like a betrayal to even have to move this way, like, there was still emotional fulfillment and stability from cutting someone off. Kind of sucks though. Yeah. What someone wants is an equal give and take. Someone doesn't want to always have to reach out and always have to talk to this person. I feel like this person who is emotionally vacant, and they had a responsibility to this person. They had a responsibility, and so this person who left, they chose to leave to find others who were going to give with them instead of hoping that it would work out. Because even in childhood, so somebody might be dealing with like a father figure, like this King of Cups type of energy. This might be an uncle. This might be someone who raised, it might even be a grandfather, someone who's an older man who is emotionally like absent. This also might be a woman who has very masculine energy. And we all have masculine and feminine energy, so please hold on that. Some people value domination and like authority. When I think of kings, I think of authority figures. Like, they're a little bit more stern. They still when they're upright, they still love you, but they're a little bit more stern. And this could be a woman or a man. This is just king energy, where it's more straight to the point. There's not as much. There's still empathy there, but not as much. It's like there's a very strict energy. But when it's reversed, it's like this person doesn't have, like, they're emotionally vacant. They're not there. They still want authority. they still want to be perceived as an authority figure. They still want the accolades of an authority figure, but they don't put in any of the emotional connectedness for them to be perceived as an authority figure over this person. And yeah, this is painful. Even though this person is stable emotionally and stable financially, like, this person is stable, it still hurts them. It's still very painful. It's still very painful. This is such like weird energy. It's a like, again, this is a back and forth energy. This is such a back and forth energy. Like someone feels very torn and like ruminating energy, even though they're happier. Like someone is sad, but they're happier than they were, which is crazy. It's not crazy. I mean, I can understand. Like, sometimes you go from a really, really, really shitty situation, and in order for you to move on, you have to leave. And even though, like, things are getting better, it's still fucking sad, and someone is still grieving over this loss. It honestly feels like someone had to walk away. Someone had to sneak away from someone and pretend like everything was fine. This also might be a romantic partnership as well. Yeah. Yeah. This is not something that should be accepted in the first place. I know some people want to be like, well, that's, you know, this is your family, this is that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. That doesn't excuse the behavior. And this might be just a video to reaffirm you. Like, you made the right choice of walking away. You made the right choice. And things are going to come towards you. Like, you're going to get what you need. You're going to be able to move forward on your journey. Just make sure you don't try to distract yourself from the transformation. Like, genuinely allow yourself to feel those emotions. Allow yourself to go through it and move through it. If you keep blocking off those feelings, you know, you're not going to be able to move through it as quick as you would. You're having, something is coming towards you, and it has to deal with the passion. This might be something about career too. So yeah, this King of Cups reverse was offering nothing. They have, like, it's almost like, it feels like a show. Like someone wanted to offer something, but it wasn't real. Like, it wasn't real. It was bullshit. It's a bullshit offer. And it's almost like the collective could see that it was bullshit. That this wasn't worth anything. And so they decided to move on. This collective decided that they weren't going to stick around for something that wasn't worth it. And rightfully so. You're going to go find the love for yourself. You have to be very careful about falling into this very explosive, angry, petty energy. If this is you, be very careful about this. This also might be the energy of someone that you're attracting, because you're not actually healing from the emotional absence of someone else. And so when you run into someone who actually gives you a lot of attention, but it's attention and it's passion, but there's toxicity in that. Like someone who's controlling, someone who wants things their way, and it feels like it's filling up an empty spot because of the emotional neglect that this collective has gone through. But you have to remember, just because someone is doting on you doesn't mean that there aren't any negative aspects of that. Like, doting is nice, but if they're trying to control, if they're trying to make your whole life about them, and it feels good, right? Because if you're the type of person who spent a lot of your life where you're so disconnected emotionally from other people, when you run into someone who's so passionate about you that you can't tell the difference. You can't tell the difference of someone who's upright, who has passion and projects for themselves and still loves you, but has their own thing, and someone who feels like your life should be revolve around them. Like, you got to be very careful about falling into traps. So, this is a warning. Someone who's moving forward from someone who is emotionally vacant, it's affecting who you're going to meet in the future. So be very, very careful about sticking around with people who, they're fiery, but they think your life should be mainly about them. Like, you exist to serve them. Be very careful with people like that. And of course, like, you have to be discerning, because guess what? These people aren't going to always say that. Some people are bold enough to say it, but most people aren't going to say that. They're just going to treat your independence or you trying to do things for yourself as a threat to them, as a threat to the relationship, as a threat to the friendship. That's what they're going to do. You can avoid a tower. You can definitely avoid a tower with this person. You can avoid the tower by holding on to the things that you're passionate about. This person wants enmeshment. They want what's important to them should be important to you, and that's not always the case. Now, you should have core values that are similar. That is very important, but it's almost like this person feels like you shouldn't have any passions of your own, and you should. You should have your own passions, have things that are going to make you happy so that you can move forward in this life. It's so funny because both of these energies I'm getting that, like, they may apologize. Both of these people, this person that may have passed away may apologize, and this person who this group is moving towards may apologize, but it's very little apologies. It's very, very little apologies. Very, very little. It's very immature too. But there is stability coming towards you, or you're moving towards the stability. It's just these little things that you're going to have to keep an eye out so that you can avoid a tower moment. And a lot of this is just stemming from childhood wounds, the Six of Cups in reverse. Childhood wounds and this person who is emotionally vacant, whether that be a mom, whether that be a dad, whether that be a grandma, grandpa, whoever, guardian. This person is just, it's affecting how you're moving in your everyday life. Okay. I'm getting someone needs to go back to school. Like, there's something to learn to go back to school for some of y'all. Some of the collective needs to go back to school and learn. Some of the collective needs to teach. And then there's some that need to go into business as models. Anyways, all of these things are valuable in a society. And I think the collective needs to move towards others. Because it's not a one-person thing. It's an actual system. So, community, for lack of a better word or term, is moving towards community. Someone needs time to think about the betrayal and why someone spent a lot of time ignoring the betrayal and drop it. And drop this guilt. I feel like someone feels very guilty for walking away from a situation. Some of y'all out there walked away from a situation, walked away from a person, and something bad happened to them, and you feel guilty. Or you're afraid that something bad is going to happen to this person, and it'll make you feel guilty. But that's not your burden to carry. You're going to have to start thinking, looking at things differently. Although we are all collective, we still all have our own journeys. And, some people, if you're married to somebody, like, they are obligated to be there for you emotionally as well. Like, they are. And I think a lot of people feel like they have no obligation to others, and we are obligated to each other. That's the whole point of being here. Now, obligation doesn't mean you need to sabotage your whole life for somebody or not fulfill your dreams for someone. No, it's about acknowledging where you can't show up for people, acknowledging that. And if you want a relationship with that person, then actually working on showing up for that person. That's what it's really about. We do owe each other something. And I think it's about time that we let go of the narrative that nobody owes you anything. Yes, we do. We owe each other as a community. We owe each other as a collective. If the purpose wasn't for us to be together and be in community together, then why do we all end up on this planet together? You might as well be on a whole planet by yourself with nobody else. People make this weird, this weird disconnect between the community that you're in. Like, I got everything by myself. If you got a job, no, you didn't. You did not get everything by yourself because someone had to hire you. If you had a business, if you got money from your family, if you got money from a bank, that's not getting things on your own. Other people had to see you as trustworthy. Other people had to see you as someone who's capable. You don't get anything in this world by yourself. Nothing in this world comes to us by ourselves, especially not our success. The success that we have, other people were involved in it. And I think a lot of people keep forgetting that we are in a collective community with others. If someone doesn't give you a job, you won't get money. I earned that. There's so many other people who have earned, who were smarter, better in other aspects, and yet we don't think about that. We don't think about that. We don't think about how, some of this stuff is actually luck. Sometimes you know people who can help you get into certain places. It doesn't just appear on our own, from our own will. Other people are there with us the whole entire way. There is someone who has a very reckless mentality. And this might be saying this message, this might make someone upset, but you have to remember this is a very immature energy. It's very little. You have to remember you still have more steps to go like anybody else, and you could be any age at this intellect, any age. There's people who are in their 50s, in their 60s, still giving out page of sword energy, page of pentacle energy, because they haven't thought about it. And this is what this hangman card is about, is thinking about things, changing your perspective about things. Someone is probably going to be suspended in time for a little bit, they feel like they're stagnant, because you're going to have to think about the immature ways that people are moving. This also could be this individual, this King of Cups energy in reverse, who thought, I don't owe anybody anything. Yes, the fuck you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We're a whole collective community. We do owe each other stuff. You have kids and you think you don't owe them nothing? Yes, you do. You brought them here in a world where people argue if kids should even get free lunch. Yeah, you do owe them that. You do. You do, friend. You do. And it's time for this collective to have clarity and discernment on what they pick. And I think someone has already picked someone has already chosen, because there's a lot of options out there. There's a lot of thoughts and ideals that someone can pick from, and someone has already picked. And this may be contributing to, the hurt and the pain of someone, is because this thought process, this idea that, we don't owe anybody anything. And I think the collective may have picked up on that from this energy, this emotionally vacant energy. Again, see, look, this is back and forth. There's this back and forth between happiness and sadness and happiness. Someone is really going through it. You know what this is giving me? This is giving me, I don't diagnose anyone through tarot, but someone may need to get checked and talk to somebody, because their emotions fluctuate so much. There's this up and down and up and down and up and down. If you're going through depression, that's understandable, because I do see the death card, and I feel like in this case it might be someone who's passing away or someone who has passed away. I do think that it is very important for someone to, go talk to somebody. This might actually help ease the stress, having someone to talk to, and having someone also give you tools to manage it, because talking to someone isn't always just enough. You have to remember, when you're going to someone who's a psychologist or a therapist or who helps people in that way, these people literally have tools. It's not just about talking. They help you manage stress. I want this going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. But someone is going to be able to get, they're going to reap the benefits of, seeds they've planted. Someone planted some seeds, whether that's connections with others, networking with others. Someone planted a seed, and someone's going to be sitting real pretty. But what may be important to look at again is the mental health of this person. I am getting a mental health type of issue, so I really hope that, if you're feeling up and down all the time, that you find a way to, talk about this. It also may be hormonal. You never know. But if someone has passed away, remember that might be the cause of it. There's also a Taurus. There might be a Taurus, because I got the Empress and we got the Hierophant card. Those two remind me of Taurus energy. The Empress also is a Libra card as well. We have someone who is moving towards a structure. Someone might be getting back into like spirituality or religion. This also may be helpful for someone. Connecting with themselves on a spiritual level, meditating. But it's a structured type of like healing. This also, for a group of y'all, this is also people who are married. There's someone who's married to this person that they have walked away from, who is emotionally vacant. I would suggest stay single for a little bit. Stay single for a little bit. Because sometimes this need to want to be with others in that way, again, walk away. Walk away and find your happiness if you haven't already. But again, sometimes someone's need to be with someone can run you straight into someone who's just as bad or worse. And they may actually come off as kind and loving and caring, but this person is very explosive. You got 2 walking away cards. You have the 8 of Cups and you have the 6 of Swords cards. And both of these are about moving in a better direction. Moving in a better direction mentally. This is moving in a better direction emotionally. Moving forward. Queen of Wands in reverse. The Queen of Wands in reverse. And the Ace of Swords. There's a group out there who doesn't have the courage. It's almost like also somebody might be dealing with a Leo, Queen of Wands energy, who's honestly a coward at heart. But I'm getting that these particular people, the collective I'm reading for, they may not have the courage to move on from this person. And you have to ask yourself why. Again, at the very beginning of this, like at the top, we have someone who needs to take some time and rethink things, see things from a different perspective. The Tower in reverse, the Ace of Wands. Someone doesn't want to bring something to an end, and it's something that's not destined, something that isn't going to move further. I mean, you can stay in the same energy if you want. God damn. It's almost like this person feels like they have to walk away from so many people. And it's like this person doesn't want it to end. And I get that. I truly do. But this energy doesn't seem like the type of energy that is going to help move this collective forward, of staying in the same stuff that you know isn't going to be beneficial to you. There is a change coming. Things are going to take a turn for the better. But it's going to be very slow moving energy. Like, it is very, I wouldn't say painstakingly slow, but it's going to come. And it feels like this person might be nervous about when it's going to come. But I think what needs to be the focus is the hope. Have hope that it's going to come in the time that you need it. Not in the time that's going to, you know, make you feel better, but in the time that's needed. And I'm asking for the last couple of cards. Anything else you want to say to this collective before we close out this reading? Alright. So, sheesh. So much. So many cards that came out. Alright, so somebody is waiting for someone. They're waiting on a ship that's not coming in. The ship is not going to come in. If you're waiting on this Queen of Wands in reverse or this King of Cups in reverse, it isn't going to happen. Or if it does happen, it's not going to be in the way that's going to be beneficial to you. You need to let it go. Someone is putting in and working hard in a relationship, whether that be a friendship, whether that be a romantic relationship. You're putting into something that isn't going to be beneficial to you. You're not going to get anything from it. It's not going to push you forward. And again, you're going to have to stop fighting, just like fighting for nothing. Like, this doesn't mean that, oh, like you have a problem fighting with some other people. It's almost like you're fighting for a relationship, or you're fighting for a spot, something that's just not for you. You're fighting just to fight. The battle's already lost, and you're not going to get anything from it. And this makes someone feel trapped. It makes someone feel trapped. It feels like this person feels like they can't do anything. Yeah, you can't do anything about this situation. What you need to do is realize that the situation is over, at least over in a way that it's not going to be good for you. So it needs to be over. And follow your emotions. Follow your emotions. Like, listen to yourself. Listen to yourself. And you need to stand on your morals. Stand on your core values. Someone's like just giving away their core values just to keep someone in their circle. And that's just, it's not going to end well. At this point, it's just an obligation. Like the Knight of Cups is someone coming in with love, but if you look at this person's face in this deck, this person seems very unenthusiastic. Someone feels like it's out of obligation. You don't have to be obligated to these people. There's also might be oh God, I said Taurus in my head. The first thing I said was Taurus. There also might be a Taurus that someone needs to just let go of, because this person is not stable. They're not a finance, again, Taurus. Another Taurus card in here too. But it might be another earth sign as well. It might be Capricorn. It might be Virgo. But someone is just not a stable person. And you're going to be fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. And the Nine of Wands in reverse, it's like you're not winning it. You're not winning it. You're going to fight so hard. You're not winning it. Again, this reading is about letting go. Letting go of someone, letting go of something, so that you can move on. Because there's a time where the wheel of fortune is going to turn in your favor. And if you keep holding on either to this like experience, not getting help with this experience, or holding on to someone who has there's no good in that, and if you're not courageous in this, if you keep holding on, they're going to sabotage your chance at something good. It's not destined anymore. It's over, but you don't want to let it go, and it's time to let it go. All right, so this was the message for today. I hope you have a good day, a good afternoon, a good evening, and a good night to all who are watching, and I will catch you in the next reading.